Family, it is your favorite cultural commentator, Joseph Reeves, with another video. This time talking about the state of homecoming at Howard University. So, for as most of you all probably know, and some of you may not know, I am a Bison. Did not graduate, but I am a I am a Howard alum. Attended from 2008 to 2011. So shout out to Club UGL. Shout out to Chick-fil-A being in the punch out. Shout out to the McDonald's on Georgia Avenue always being lit. Shout out to Mr. Jimmy that used to make the sandwiches and used to make change for you when you needed it. Right outside the Sixth Avenue entrance. May he be resting in peace. And as a Bison who some may or may not consider to be old Howard, a lot of my folks have been talking about homecoming, the current state of homecoming at Howard University, and how at one time our homecoming was looked at as the homecoming. Our homecoming was the homecoming that broke Biggie, right? Our homecoming was the homecoming where we actually booed Kanye, right? And there has just seemed to be a specific decline. And it really can be traced back to, I want to say, homecoming 2012, because that's kind of like when the iconic and kind of like the legendary homecoming kind of like reached its apex, because Two Chains brought Drake out at Yardfest and pandemonium ensued, to the point where it's like some folks unfortunately got hurt, and where Yardfest actually had to end early that year, which really led to kind of like the university stepping in and kind of like really taking over the reins of Howard Homecoming, um, in ways that, from like safety and liability issues, make sense, but has really kind of like taken away from kind of like the spirit and the lore and the legend of what Howard Homecoming had become known to be. Um, and I mean, there was even the year where they like tried to like charge for people to come into Yardfest, which also ended up proving to be a disaster, to where like there were even some altercations between police and members of the Howard University community, members of like the greater DC community. Um and it's kind homecoming is kind of coming back to itself. But I know even with this year, there's been some controversy because the universe is quote unquote banning marijuana and alcohol at the tailgate. Um, for anyone who has really been to a Howard homecoming, especially during the past couple of years, like post 2013, tailgate has kind of like been like that organic space of integrity, where kind of like the true spirit of Howard Homecoming is kind of like preserved and honored and protected, because as President Frederick and university officials have really pushed to make Howard University family friendly and to really cater to like older Howard alum that can maybe give a little bit more money. Tailgate has kind of like become that place where like younger Howard alums who still want to turn up, who still want to get lit, but may not necessarily want to go out at night, can kind of still come, still let our hair down, still see our folks, sing things of that nature. And like a Howard University tailgate without the Georgia Avenue parking lot being littered in bottles of Hennessy is just futile and a waste of time. So, I mean, it's cute and it's funny that the university thinks that they're going to ban marijuana and ban alcohol from the tailgate. But in true Howard fashion, In true Howard fashion, shout out to the revolts of 1968 and 1988, where Bison shut the A building down. So, like, in that true, like, Howard fashion, like, we gonna find a way and we gonna get lit, and niggas just gonna have to deal with the shit. But even more, as kind of like we're having the conversations around Howard Homecoming, kind of like me just in my alumni networks, it just seems that there's not just the same level of excitement around homecoming anymore. And understand, like, we're alums. Some of us are like 10, 15 years removed from our undergraduate days. But still, as someone who is still in the DC area, still connected to the campus, even as I've moved on and am doing other things with my life, I remember when I landed at the Mecca in the fall of 2008, from freshman moving all the way through to Halloween, all anybody talked about was homecoming, and there was an anticipation, and there was just a spirit of excitement. And there was just a lead up. Like, they don't even do like the reveal anymore, where they let folks know who's coming. And like, there used to like be like a whole week of events, right? Um Shout out to the poetry show, shout out to the comedy show, shout out to the gospel show, and kind of like all the other events that have seemed to be like left by the wayside. And also, you know, it was a great resume builder for a lot of the students, particularly those who knew they wanted to go into event planning and party promotion and public relations and entertainment management. So it wasn't just a turn up, but it was a way for students to get invaluable experience and to just really build up their resume. Also, shout out to like events like Howard Wood, right? Where like Howard alums in like the entertainment and media culture would come back and speak to students. And the spirit just don't seem to be there anymore. And for me, we just got to find ways to get that old thing back. And I know a lot of it is going to be based in we as the younger alums, we who graduated from 2008 to 2012 and are experiencing our 5 year, 10 year, some of us even 15-year reunions. It's kind of like, even though a lot of us are still dealing with student loans, right? Like, we gotta find a way to put our money where our mouth is, because until that happens, unfortunately, university powers that be will still look at us as like, well, y'all talk a lot of shit, but y'all don't never give. So that's just some quick thoughts, because like I said, I want to make sure that I'm continuing to do these videos for you guys. And thank you all always for your love and support. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and also like, let me really know your thoughts on the state of Howard University homecoming. What needs to change, if anything? And until next time, remember that with all the things that you can be in this world, please remember to always, 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 always be kind.